know the truth.
So a governor a man who could barely, sit on his seat as a governor.
Okay,
the president, the then president, was not aware that he was not.
Okay,
I am not a trained medic.
I don't want us to talk about Yar'Adua. It's a part thing.
Okay.
Let's look at Saturday. Let's keep focus on Saturday now. Now, Saturday elections, is sacrosanct. No turning back. Everything is set to make that day, memorable in the history of Nigeria as we approach the polls and make it happen. Now, my concern is this: people are going out on Saturday.
I don't want to be destructive of your line of thought,
Okay.
but there are some things that is actually quite imperative of one to correct. Saturday's election, as at this juncture, is sacrosanct.
Okay.
If we approach Saturday and some problems develop, either logistical, technical, or
Now
whatever,
I'm asking: can you foresee any issue?
the last presidential election that was held in Nigeria, at the last general elections we had, on the very first day of voting, due to certain logistical problems, the election was postponed.
Yeah.
I am sitting here and I'm happy that at least we know that Saturday will be a general election day. But I will not be so conceited to say willy-nilly.
Are you foreseeing a repetition of the antecedents we had in 2011?
Look, we live in a society where we have certain peculiar
We are used
problems.
to fire brigades.
Aha. Look at even the management. Look at the management of voters registration, the management of voters eligibility. This thing through.
Yeah, but reports have it that INEC has not come out to tell Nigerians any other thing contrary.
We're on the same page. It's just that experience tells me that even when I'm reading this page and I know all the drums, all the dance steps are, moving towards
Very rocky.
Saturday.
You should prepare for the best
eventuality
and hope for the worst.
And hope for the worst. I say,
That is very
that is
very heavy. Really.
From my personal opinion.
Yeah.
No intelligence inkling, no this thing. But you know what? We have so perfected maladministration in this.
And mediocrity.
Thank God for even borrowing me words. We have so perfected it that what is supposed to happen on a Saturday morning may turn out to happen on a Sunday morning. It's just that within the limits of the Constitution, the time window to conduct this election is very limited now.
Okay,
Yeah,
now after the 6 weeks,
also to add to that,
hold on,
I want to quickly wait.
Okay.
I want to add to that, but learning from the 2011 experience, INEC had introduced new innovations. We must also say this.
Yes.
That unlike the 2011 election, on election day, materials were every polling agent had to go to the local government offices to get materials. But now what INEC had done is to create cluster units, where by today, materials would leave the local governments to cluster units at the ward level.
Do we have information that these materials have left CBN?
I may not have that information, but INEC also...
We saw Ekiti, we saw Osun.
Yes.
We saw even Oyo was confirmed this morning that electoral materials
I
have
said
reached Oyo.
the last elections in Osun, Ekiti.
Ekiti.
Even
Anambra was spoilt because of the
electoral officer.
an electoral officer who was on his own.
Who was compromised.
And so for that, we want to also assume that INEC, going through that process, making sure that by tomorrow the materials would be at the cluster units, and then so that by first thing on Saturday morning, it will be easy for the local, the polling officers to go to the cluster units in their ward to go collect, so that latest by 8 a.m., all the materials would be at the polling unit. Because unlike Lagos, there are some local government in some places where you will need to drive for 2 to 3 hours from some villages to the local government
What about even
headquarters.
the
riverine areas
communities?
Also. So,
yeah, but
which was why
if what we have been thinking and some things that we have read is correct, then I mean I can tell you that the Navy have
all the military services tend to help. The Navy will help with riverine areas. The Air Force will help, with. But having said that, we don't have to go into the nitty-gritty. We don't have the time to do that. I essentially believe that the presidential, the senatorial, and the House of Representatives election, or the national elections, we hold this Saturday, barring any unforeseen logistical or technical problem. But you know what? I'm essentially saying I believe 80%. Now, but as somebody who wants to be reasonable, human, and realistic,
like the event that anything happens.
The 20% too. Let them the juru somewhere, make they play.
Anyway, for me, I believe very strongly that we have had enough agitation. This election should just come and go. And my expectation is that we're going to have a free, fair, transparent, credible, peaceful election. I believe that's the expectations in the minds of Nigerians, especially people who are eligible to go out to vote. Now, something I need to clear. What is your thought on militarization of this election? Considering many. Hold on.
People like you use too much grammar. I don't like that word militarization.
Okay. Let me break it down. Can I break it down? I simply means how would you analyze? So what would you say? Yes,
of military personnel.
Yes.
In the security infrastructure.
Exactly.
No, we must be very careful. Okay. When we say militarization, Abi, my brother,
yes,
help me
exactly.
Because
that's where we get it wrong.
Me, I don't read book, read you. But I know say we read common sense. When you say militarization, you have already painted a graphical illustration of an environment overly inundated with military personnel. No. I am one. This will be the first time I will likely be voting in Nigeria after I left these shores about almost 30 years ago.
Okay.
And I have people who have consistently engaged with the electoral system, and they told me that they will not go out on that day if the military were not to be seen, not at the polling booth.
Yes, but on the major roads. All right, please hold on that thought. Good morning, Godwin.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Yes, I'm okay.
All right, great.
Yeah, I really want to be part of your discussion.
All right.
And first, I want to congratulate you. I want to thank you guys. You guys are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Because voters' awareness, the public really do not know what is happening. Now, I really feel for this country called Nigeria because here you see people parade themselves leaders. They are not leaders. They are fraudulent human beings, few persons call themselves political leaders, dragging a whole nation of over 160 million people into a kind of closed channel. Nigerians were in crossroads. Now, look at the campaigns. People, they are alleging, you have stolen so much money. Are you better than this man? Are you better than this other man? How much money have you taken from bank? How much money do you have in your foreign accounts? Yet Nigerians are listening and we cannot do anything. Well-organized few persons holding this country to ransom. It's a pity. Every time we talk about this one will bring its own analogy, this one will bring its own theories, but yet we are not moving forward. Look at Malaysia, where they have landed. Look at where Nigeria is up to now. This country, what is government doing for you? You provide light for yourself. You provide water for yourself. You provide you pay your medical bills. Government is actually doing nothing for anybody. It is Nigerians that are supposed to now stand up and say no to all these criminals. We are now embracing them. This one will do better. None of them should come. This election should be cancelled. In my own opinion, there should be no election and let us go back to the basics.
All right, thank you so very much, Godwin. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. I mean, Godwin said...
Two areas I want to...
You have to hold on. You have to hold on now. We're approaching the last run of the show, and we will have to quickly go and make some money. Let's go on a short break, and then when we come back, we'll do the last run, on Crossfire. We'll be right back. All right, you are welcome back. This is still Crossfire, and we started the show with this gentleman, and we've been enjoying ourselves in the studio, and I hope you have been enjoying yourself watching. And thank Godwin for his input, even though every Nigerians, they are entitled to their various opinions. He's of the opinion that this election should be cancelled.
Godwin is one of the disillusioned few who may register who may vote for the apathetic party that day on Saturday, because
how do you mean an apathetic?
From the way he spoke. Yes. From the way he spoke. He said none of them is what is the kind of person that will sit down, be watching CNN or Cool TV that day.
Now, but the truth is, do you believe, really and truly? Let's be very objective here. Nigerians have a problem.
I'm always objective.
Okay, Nigerians have a problem, a very serious problem with the type or the brand of candidates that have been fielded, especially
including
hold on now.
Why are you addressing what is?
I am not overdressing it. Okay. I mean, as the moderator here, at least I can put some things in perspective, especially for the sake of the show.
Don't use too many language for something that you can use too much.
I'm also a disillusioned Nigerian. The two candidates are not my best. Ordinarily, they are not my best. Okay. I won't go to the market with any of the two of them. In a normal election. But you know what? These are the two de facto candidates now.
But can't they be voted out? That's my question. Do you think Nigerians are well informed such that, we can go out on Saturday with the information that we have, and can they be voted out?
You can only vote one person out. There's only one incumbent.
So
why are you using can they be voted out?
Yes, they can be voted out. No, they can be voted out. Both of them can be voted out.
No.
They can. They can. Okay, for instance,
other candidates. My brother, we
can pick a neutral person amongst the 12 remaining candidates.
We have seen it before across the world. America, let me shock you. America has almost 5,000 political parties. But why is it that you only get to hear about the Republican and the Democratic Party's candidates? Because America is a de facto two-party state. In the UK, up until a couple of years ago, you would only hear about the Conservative and the Labour Party, but not because there are no other parties in the UK. So Nigeria now, we have two de facto parties. The PDP, which is the ruling party, and the APC, which is the main opposition party. Look, Onovo struck out a very stellar performance.
Wonderful. But
he's such a fringe candidate. I can bet that Yeleja, my late mom, will resurrect before Onovo will be voted the president. My mother, who died some years ago, I can bet that she would rather resurrect before Onovo could become president.
Why that? Why?
Because that's the reality. That's the reality of most electoral districts. But having said that,
so you're not expecting surprises. You're not expecting surprises, in this election.
Ask my brother.
Do you have any surprise? That you're expecting in this election? Really?
Like I said, instead of addressing
no twists,
issues,
no surprises,
no surprises.
No surprises.
To answer your question directly, no surprises.
Okay.
Why? Not because it is like that in America and it's like that in the UK, but because politics here is largely, played the way it is being played by these two major opposition. And then when you hear people talk about structures, this political party does not have structure, because structure also boils down to finance. And then also you find out that these political parties, these major opposition parties, you hardly hear about them immediately after the election until few months or few days to the next election, mostly general election. That? So with that, these names are not in the people's subconsciousness. And so that's why you find out that here, unlike in America where some people will say, well, he's my candidate, whether he's popular or not, I will stand by him. But here, as Bola is now, the day he decides to go run for an elective office, which I know he will never do, some of his best friends will say,
what about you?
What about me running for an elective office with this kind of arrangement that we have? It's almost an impossibility. And so what you will hear is your best friends telling you, oh, boy, you're not going to win. I don't want to waste my vote. So they see voting for you as a waste. While at the same time, they'll be complaining about the major contenders. On the same platform with Onovo. You know, on the same platform with Onovo, Gani Fawemi contested. Even people that were saying, oh yes, Gani should fight for human rights, should fight for the cause of people. Yet when it came to decide, yes, this man is good enough, they said, I don't want to waste my vote. I won't vote for him, because I will be wasting it. So that's the way we still pass.
Now, if Nigerians are in the state, really and truly, if Nigerians are in the state, what exactly do you want to tell someone going out on Saturday to do?
For me, I'll take it from where he stopped also. The two major candidates, I will not elect either of them as a class rep.
I'm telling you.
But unfortunately, this is the country we find ourselves where the worst of us are ruling the best of us. And so now you are presented with two of those candidates from that worst school. That's why I tell people, what you basically have, it's not a fight, amongst the
battle of ideas. It's not so much a battle of ideas.
What you just have is a division in the ruling class. And so
the political class.
So you don't even have a similitude of a good leader.
That is why
in this. I mean,
you will that's where the campaigns are what they are, because
name calling.
It is to them. It's about power.
Who controls the purse?
Who controls the purse, and not about ideas. How are you going to do it differently? What have you done before that you should? That's why you hear campaigns. People begin to refer to antecedents that you can relate with, that we were here, we did it so, and we can do it this way. And that is why till today the National Assembly will not allow electronic voting on the floor of the Senate or the House of Rep, because it will afford the opportunity to know the line of voting of a particular honorable member or of a particular senator. So if he comes out tomorrow to hold a contrary position, you say, no, you have always maintained this position. So what has changed? What had changed so far? What informed this new opinion? And so, but Nigerians, unfortunately, we are all carried away in this, brouhaha of this man is old, this one has run out of ideas, he's not presidential, he's presidential. And that's why you will hear bogus promises. I will build bridges where there are no river. I will give everybody one house per day. And Nigerians will believe, because you don't have people who sit down and look at you and say, yes, I relate with you. I feel your pain.
All right.
And that's why, so in rounding up quickly, you see them come on air like this. If, let's assume, Bola Oba and I were on opposing party, we'll shout at each other, we'll call each other names.
Are you on opposing party?
No, but I'm just telling you, I'm giving you an example.
I don't know his party.
I'm giving you an example with the political actors. And then the moment they are out of the studio, you see them embrace each other. Their supporters are killing themselves, believing that, our major actors are quarreling.
All right, thank you very much. Nigerian democracy, good or bad?
It's developing.
It's developing.
It's not quite a democracy yet, but we have civil governance. We have moved away from military rule. We are in civil governance.
All right.
We should look for a name for it.
All right. Okay.
Until we get that name.
Maybe tomorrow I will bring Patrick Obaagbo's names that he feels that we should have called our democracy over time. All right. Thank you so very much, everyone who have been a part of our show today. Don't forget, come on election day, you can be a part part of the election process. You can play your role. Don't forget, you can send us any information at all that is important, to Nigerians. You can send it to eyewitness@cooltv.co. eyewitness@cooltv.co. It can be a picture, it can be an information. Snap it, send it, and believe you me, it will be very important to inform Nigerians as we all go out on Saturday. We want to say a very big thank you once again. Tomorrow is another day. Join us for another very interesting episode. I'm going to have these guys back in the studio, and we'll be doing justice to so many issues on the show as usual. All right, stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble.